Hello. Okay, it's me. I'm switching cameras again. Hey y'all, it's Lucy, live with Lucy. So happy to see y'all here. 2 more days after today. And we are making some haunted houses.
Introducing face stickers by Sticker Mule.
We are making some little houses from my Alpine House Workshop, my Alpine Village Wreath Workshop. So I need my trusty assistant, my Vanna White, to show you. He's going to pick up this giant wreath and kind of show you in the background what the Christmas version looks like. And today we're going to modify two of the houses so that so that they're Halloween houses, just to show you how flexible it is. But you can get, if you don't already have my wreath workshop, no, you're going to have to stand over there. And no, back. You're going up against the wall. There you go. There's my trusty assistant. That is the Alpine wreath, all decorated. Okay, that's good. Thank you. And I have to keep it hidden because one of my cats loves to eat plastic pine needles from the wreath. So I have to keep it up real high. It's up against my fireplace, but up very high because Alley Cat loves to eat plastic. So you can get my wreath workshop if you like, if you haven't already gotten it. And for this year at least, on the last Tuesday of the month, last Thursday of the month, today's Thursday, I usually do one of the houses from it with an idea of having them all finished before December. We did two a couple of times. We're going to have to do two tonight to catch up. So that's what we're doing. And I'm trying to see the chat. It's putting an ad where the chat is, so it's very aggravating. I see Sonia and Tiffany and Barbara Rogers and Roseanne and Kathy and Roberta and Debbie Montgomery. Okay, let me get back. Okay, so this time let me show you the two houses we're doing. Now, the other thing I added to my wreath workshop was I added some seasonal variations. I haven't added a Halloween variation, but it wouldn't be hard. So for Valentine's Day, I added ones with little hearts. I think you could see the hearts in the, and hearts on the roof, hearts on the, wait, let me see if I can hold it still, the shutter. And here is a St. Patrick's Day barn. So that's one of the bonus files in the wreath workshop. And this was a Valentine barn. I really like that design. And let me see. Oh, and this is an Easter variation. So I just made little egg-shaped windows, and I added some little bunnies to the file. So it was just bonuses, so that if you wanted to make a wreath and you didn't want it to just be for one season, you could actually switch out the houses. That's actually one of the cool things I did. What I think the benefit of the wreath workshop is, I put holes in the back and on the file on the bottoms, so you could wire it to a wreath and not worry about, and you could switch it out. So if you change your mind, or you like, I'd really like the houses to line up on a mantle, you can take them down and not have to have them always on a wreath. And like I said, you could do a seasonal variation. So that's the Alpine Village Wreath Workshop. I think there's a link in the description. But also, many of these houses I made a long time ago in 2018, right when I first learned how to make patterns. So they're variations. So if you don't have the wreath workshop, or you're not sure you want it, you can do the houses from there. For example, oh, and this one is, this one is tiny houses for mason jars. So it's a miniature version that fits on a little mini mason jar. And that one is design number, it's under tiny houses for mason jars, but also it's design number 36 in the free library. And the other variation is, and I don't have the original, this is from the wreath workshop. This is house number 8, I call it the Happy Holiday House because I just think it's such a neat design, and when you glitter it, it really looks good. And we're not going to glitter our version today. We're just going to do actually kind of a plain version. So we're going to make number 8, Happy Holidays House from the Wreath Workshop. And like I said, an old version of it is number 35 in the Paper Glitter Glue Library. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, and then we're going to do what I call the Swiss chalet, because I thought chalets look like this, but they actually don't. They're wider than tall. So really this is more like an A-frame. All right, let's see. So let's get started. I'm using kind of my standard materials. For one of them, I'm using cardboard, painted cardboard. And so I need, I need glue. I don't think I have my good glue here. It's away from me. But we'll try. We'll try see how Barely Art glue does with it. And then the other version, this little one I made, this cardstock is the same cardstock that I used for, you see her behind me, the bride's dress, because it's really kind of cool. All right. Oh, I think somebody said my friend Tony is here. Tony from Wild Spider Designs. Her project is tomorrow. She makes this real cute spinning spider, and she shows you how to use her really neat product, Sticky Roll. And today in the Spooktacular is Amy Romeo. I never know if I say her name right, and she's like a friend of mine. And Amy did some gift card holders, and she always uses vinyl and faux leather, but she said you can make it out of cardstock, because I told her it's a paper only. So last year she didn't do it because it was paper only, but this year she made it so you could do it with paper. Okay, so I'm going to switch cameras again. Try not to disturb Alley Cat. She is on the table, but she doesn't have a good place to lay down. So I'm going to migrate. I hope I have everything, haven't knocked everything off. I'm going to migrate my, oh wait, here I'll show you Alley Cat. There she is. So now I'm rotating to the craft area. There we go. And I'm going to turn the light up a little bit so it's a little brighter. There we go. And I didn't decorate this one yet, partly because I couldn't decide on paint colors. I just got the paint finished. It just dried. So this one I painted with black gesso, and one of my, I'm not a big purple fan for the most part, but I love this shade. It's called Shaded Lilac, but it's not available anymore, which makes me sad. So I actually stocked up. I went online and bought bottles from several places. So I would have my Shaded Lilac. And before I paint, I always fold along the score lines, but they still get obscured. So I am refolding them. If you don't do it before you paint, it's really hard to find them again, especially angled ones can kind of hide from you. And when you do pre-paint, when you open up the score lines, a lot of times the cardboard or the cardstock shows, so I just paint over it or distress the corners, something like that. If it was a pretty house, then I would paint with the same color, but if it's a Halloween house, I just kind of distress it. Okay, so, and these houses are small because they're designed to be on a display. Let me move that so Alley Cat can find her corner. Oh no, that's not exactly what I wanted her to do. That's more of my craft space than I expected. Yeah, you get in the corner. You can get a little bit. There, she found a piece of cardboard to get on. They like that. Cats like to have a defined space. Okay, so it's small. And you can cut it out with a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardboard or cardstock. And then I'm just going to glue on the side glue tab like I do on most of my structural things. Okay, let's see how this works. Normally I use my quick dry tacky glue, but I migrated it off of my table somehow. You know what that means. That means painter's tape. See, popped right open. Painter's tape. And, you know, a lot of times people are like, I had no idea they were so small. And I think part of that's because they make bigger houses from, you know, other designers like Dreaming Tree. But I always wonder, like, where are people going to keep those? Because they're really big. You know, you have to have a dedicated space, and space is often a challenge. You know, it's something it's a limiting factor. It's something we think about when we make stuff. So these are little designed for a small display. Okay, I know this isn't going to hold. We'll use lots of painter's tape here, and then we'll work on the front extensions. There's nothing, well, I guess there are some decorative pieces on this house. The side, because it was what I call an Alpine house, I used the wood trim. So I want to be sure and push this right into the corner. Remember, these are just support flaps. They're not the roof, they're the support flaps. And oh, in terms of Dreaming Tree, I think the designs are beautiful, and the large size lets you add more decorative elements. That's the other thing about it. There's a real advantage to it. But I actually started building houses based on what the little putz houses, which were always small, the little Japanese putz houses. And they were all small and sold at a 5 and dime store, you know, old Woolworths, which, you know, young people would never have heard of. And they were sold for like 10 cents a piece. People have vintage ones that they show, and on the bottom is a price tag or a price stamp that says 5 cents. So it's kind of remarkable. Okay, we will let that dry. That's the main structure. And like I said, the only decorative piece is this trim. Oh, and I guess a window. We'll let it dry. And let's work on these. Now, these are the 2 front extensions on the Happy Holiday house. So I'm going to decorate them first because they're small. So here is the wood trim, which, you know, it's purple in this case. And 2 windows, a circular window and a rectangular window. Yes, Dreaming Tree's now on Creative Fabrica, which is really kind of amazing to me. But doing these designs is a lot of work, and the people in charge chose to move to Creative Fabrica. Dreaming Tree decided to move to Creative Fabrica kind of so they wouldn't have to sort of lessen their load. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it matches up here and here. To lessen their workload, to make it easier to be with their family. I certainly understand that. I understand that aspect. Oops. because it is a lot of work doing this stuff. Okay, wait, I'm going to move something over a little bit because I'm not reading all the chat. Oh, Debbie said she really missed Kmart. I liked Kmart too. I'll tell you a funny story about Kmart. You know, I didn't learn to drive until I was in my 30s. You know where I went the first time I ever drove somewhere? It was to Kmart because I'd never gotten to go and just kind of wander around. So I went to Kmart for my first solo in my 30s before I graduated from med school. Yeah, I think brick and mortar stores are having trouble, and that's why, you know, at times I make a real effort to go to a store to get stuff. And try to support local stores. Okay, I don't think that one's this. Oh, I didn't fold along all the score lines before I did this. Let's see where we are. Okay, that one's good. That one's good. All right, those little front, now let's glue the decorative pieces on. Amy said she drove to Kmart her first time too, but she was 17, not like 32. How old was I? I was 19. It was when I graduated, 88. Yeah, I was 32. So I did not crash. Amy said she crashed. Amy Butler said she crashed when she did her first solo drive. I'm trying to look at one that doesn't have a lot of goop on them because I painted them real sloppy because I just painted them. There we go. Well, we're almost going. And that one looks a little... Okay, we got those. Now let's see. If this is good enough. Let's do it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pull these tabs up so I can adhere the trim. So you're talking about Creative Fabrica and digital papers. I'm curious, what kind of printer do you have? I'm not happy with the printer I got, the inkjet printer I got. Only if I use photo paper is the image decent at all. And I just didn't think that was going to be necessary. It was certainly not necessary with my laser printer. Also, I want to be able to print on 1 10-pound cardstock, and it does not do that reliably. I have an Epson Eco tank. So Donna uses a color laser. Yeah, that would, I can certainly see how that would work well. Does your printer work with 1 10-pound cardstock? Okay. Let's get the window on. Sorry, this one takes a little while. The other one is easy. This one is a little harder, and that's one reason I wanted to do it kind of in cardboard. I wanted it to just kind of show you how it goes together with the two front extensions. Come on, why are you popping up? I'm gonna glue that on later. All right, now we can do, and I'll glue the other side on later too. I'll do the decorative things later. I really want to show you how the extensions go together. Now, actually I would do it different now, but these two edges touch. Can you see? They don't glue together, otherwise it'll be like a trapezoid. It won't be the right shape. They just touch. It's just showing you how to line them up. But we do need to glue down the roof tabs to the roof flaps. This is a roof flap. And the roof tab goes to it. And we are going to do some glue. Some tape, coarse tape. So that'll hold it. And since the roof is up here, I'm going to go ahead and glue it on without gluing the roof on, because the roof comes next. I usually do the extensions first. I guess you could do the roof now, but stuff is still drying. Okay, so I'm going to match up the outside edge and then line it up. Get my tape. Could use a binder clip down here. Yeah, that's what somebody was talking about, the Canon to print to 110. Okay, the weird thing about Epson is you cannot, yeah, I have searched and searched and even asked them, will it print on 110? And they don't know. It's not one of their features that they notice, but I think it's pretty important for our kind of crafting. And if you're getting that kind of color printer, you know, you're trying to craft with it. And you want to know if it'll handle your 110 paper. Because you know I like sturdy paper. Okay. Y'all, I'm not going to make you go through that again. But anyway, because, so I did, normally I would use a binder clip here, but I didn't feel like getting my trusty assistant up to get a binder clip. And then I'm just kind of taping it here because it's hard to add pressure at the top. So I'm just adding a little piece of tape. If you're using cardstock, you have to be careful that you won't pull up the cardstock. But the other thing about it is cardstock glues easier, and you don't usually have to do that. But with this, with cardboard, you do. Okay, so this is how the roof goes on. See, I'm already popping off. Okay, I want to show you, remember these are roof flaps. These are just to keep the sides straight. This is not part of the roof, so it does not line up. It does not line up exactly with the peaks, and that's okay. So when everything's dry, I just slide this on around the two extensions, and then I glue on the extension roof here. I apply glue along my extension and then along this back edge and kind of Squish it together. Remember, whenever you're gluing a roof onto an angled roof, the angled side goes against the angled roof. All right, and that is how you do that one. So 2 extensions, and I don't know, I don't think I brought the door out. The door goes in the middle. You pick a door for here. And that is the Happy Holiday House. Let me show you. This is kind of the quick cardstock version I made. And I used this paper we used for the wallpaper in one of the doll houses, and I kind of distressed it. I didn't distress it very well. I mean, I like the distressing back here, but I really just smeared some black on it. And this is just a couple of layers, I think it's 3 layers of cardboard, painted purple, and I think it's pretty cute. I like it. Okay, now let me move all of this one, and we'll do the other one, what I call the Swiss Chalet, which is, you know, not appropriately named, but you get the idea. And I was able to organize that one better. And actually, I really like it. Okay, so I put it in that little tray I have. That little tray. So I made 2 versions so I can show you easier. And it is actually a very simple house, but because of the steep angles, sorry little house, the steep angles, it's a very compelling house. People really like this little house. Now on the original version in the website, it's not as detailed. So, but I did a better job. I you know, like I said, I always learn more, and so I did a better job with the wood trim. Okay, so let's see. So this is one, and I really kind of like this. Well, oh, let me just ask you now while I've got it out. Green roof, black roof. Green roof, black roof. You help me decide. So when we get to that, okay, so this is the one we're going to be making. I've glued on much of the trim, not all of the trim. Let me move this out of the way a little bit. And let's see, what do I need? I need that trim. Yeah, I only need 2 trim pieces. And one thing I wanted to show you is sort of a trick to line it up, because I always have trouble, you know. So if you fold, especially with cardstock, you can fold it and you can line it up with the edge easier. With cardboard, it's fatter and it's a little harder to line up like that. Also, with my cardboard, I've painted it, but with cardstock, you can fold so that an edge shows and you know you're lining it up appropriately. That's really what I wanted to show you on this one. And you don't want it extended past the bottom. See, did I do all the windows? Yes. And then this back piece just goes up here. You don't really need it on the back, but I love the wood trim. Or the faux trim, in our case. And the same thing. You can fold one of the edges back so you can line it up precisely. And it works much better. Check. See, that looks good. Okay, so this is our little Swiss Chalet, our Halloween version. See, I don't really like the inside paper of that cardstock. And this is lightweight cardstock. You know, I prefer heavier cardstock, you know, like 100-pound, 110. But this is 65, and it still works. Not as sturdy. Not going to be nearly as sturdy. But still a very cute house. And if you put a base on it, it'll be it'll be protected. It won't tip over as easy. All right, and then the next step is to glue the roof flaps down, and that's why I made two, so I already had it sort of structured and dry. I'm going to set this one aside, and I've actually glued one of the roof flaps down, the back roof flaps down, and so let's glue the front roof flaps down. And remember, the important part is the flap and the crease need to match up, otherwise your house is wonky. Can't have a wonky house. And, you know, it's a tall roof. And this isn't going to show. This part is not going to show. So a little bit of painter's tape. Okay, now we have to make our decision. Green or black? Oh, I see Amy is here. I really think the black for this one because it accents the trim. Oh, and I need to add a door. I think I have a door here. So I think I'm gonna, oh, and if you glue, the door in the pattern is kind of big. I actually think it looks better if you glue it behind. You see? Let's look at the difference. Sort of depends on what the effect is, but I'm gonna glue it behind. There we go. And now let's, oh, we already glued that down. And like I said, I think I'm going to alternate. I'm going to switch out the two roofs so they contrast each other. Okay, I don't know if this is stuck enough. This isn't going to show, but I just have this thing. I just don't like pieces of painter's tape underneath my structure, even though it doesn't matter at all. It's so funny. Some things I'm very, very relaxed about. Other things I'm like, no, I cannot tolerate that. My brother would probably say that's true. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked how well this paper looked. I went through, you know, this, it shouldn't have taken me very long to do this project, but I'm like debating about the paper and the contrast and should I paint it? Should I do it out cardboard? I mean, it just took forever. Okay, now let's glue it down. And the other thing I wanted to say is maybe, you know, you want to put like one of the moon figures, one of the moon things we made. And if so, you can make the back flat, or it'll glue to this, but if you want to just kind of shift or make your roof narrower, you could do that. But I like the green. And then I have just started doing this on y'all's recommendation. I've started adding an insert to help keep the house square. And I'm just going to pop it in before, not really glue it in. But, you know, with the glue, it'll keep it into a nice shape with 90-degree angles. Instead of, if you don't have it, you see how it kind of bows out. And y'all taught me that. And you know, the truth is you really don't even have to glue it in so much, but it does help keep the sides better if you glue it in. Okay, and then I made some bases. So I like the light green. And if you have a bigger base, you can add more decor. And so these are some bottle brush trees that I sprayed. Some bottle brush trees. And then last year we made some polymer clay pumpkins. Some little, all they are little balls of polymer clay that I baked. I think you bake it at 275 for 15 minutes for every 1/4 inch. So these are certainly 1/4 inch. And some of them, 1 or 2 has stems on them. I made bunches of them there and just added a little green stem. Okay. So really, here, I'll turn it this way just so you can see. So the larger base allows you to have more elements on it. A smaller base is pretty much just for the house, you know, just the house. This house, this Valentine house, you could put like a little cow there or something. That would be fun. But this one, mostly the Christmas one, I just did snow. Okay, I think that's it for today. Just wanted to show you sort of the structure of these houses from the Alpine Wreath. And if you buy the Alpine Wreath Workshop, it is on sale. If you buy the Alpine Wreath Workshop, we will be doing house number 10 next time. And that's September. October is 11, and at the end of November, I guess the week of, it might be Thanksgiving, but the last week of November will finish. So you'll have, if you've been following along, you'd have 12 houses for your wreath. Okay, switching cameras. I think, wait, here. Rotating the light, now shining on Alley Cat. The bases are made, I cut them out, they're in the Alpine Wreath Workshop, the pattern. And this so you can put a light in, or if you want to wire it from the bottom, you can do that. So another thing, let me show you something about the bases though. If you want, like particularly with this house, because it's got these extensions on front, sometimes you don't want the circles centered. You want them more towards the back so you can add more decor. You see, if it was in the center, then the house has to go to the very front of your base. And if your bases, because you're making them out of cardboard and you're painting them, if they get kind of wonky, they're not exactly straight, I actually spritz them with a little bit of water and I put them on with a weight, like a book or something. Actually, what I did was I used a cutting board, and then I put my, what do you call it, my mixer, my KitchenAid mixer on top, which is really heavy and has a flat base, and it straightened them out. Okay, all right, so Delvine says she needs to take a vacation from life so she can craft more. Yeah. You know, I pretty much had to retire to be able to craft like I want to. But also, I turned it into my job, which has its own kind of disadvantages, but I do love it, and I especially love interacting with, you know, you guys too. Okay, so anything, Donna said she uses air dry clay because she doesn't want her husband to think that she's cooking. I think that's very funny. Okay. A house with a balcony. Actually, this structure is perfect for a balcony. You could enlarge it and just put, because it'd be so simple, so you could just add a balcony there. And I did do one, my Habitat for Humanity house has a little porch with a balcony on it. And I was thinking about doing a balcony on my, what is it? A front tower house. It's got a tower sticking out, but it would look really good with like 2 balconies and overlooking a porch. So yes, I have thought about that, and I will be doing that. I will eventually. Okay, well, thank you, y'all. I appreciate everybody being here at my Live with Lucy, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We're gonna take some of the stuff that we've made, like the wreaths and bats and, you know, whatever other elements I can think of, maybe some potion bottles, little potion bottles, and we're going to make a grapevine wreath, and or at least explore options for the grapevine wreath tomorrow at 2 p.m. And be sure to check out tomorrow Tony's spinning spider. Okay, bye y'all. You take care.